Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. My name is Becca Dukes. Let's go ahead and open up that waiting room and let people in. As yes, we are a live show with a live audience. So if you'd like to join us, feel free to do so by going to zoom.dailywithdoc.com. Right now, we are Monday, Thursday, Friday from 12 to 1 p.m., 1 to 2 Mountain, 2 to 3 Central, and 3 to 4 Eastern Time. And I think it's like 9 to 10 or 10 to 11 in South Africa. I have to double check. But we are available around the world, wherever you have internet and access to all the many different platforms that have been made available over the recent years for people to get communication. And the communication that we are providing is empowering, bringing information to you as an individual so you can help yourself, your family, your community, and together we can help the world find a better health journey. This program is being sponsored by dailywithdoc.com, where you'll find previous programming that we've had in all the many episodes over about 7 years now. You're also going to find a link to Good Foods, Bad Foods, and more articles to help empower you as an individual, and think about them as tools in your toolbox when it comes to wellness, not just what you put in your mouth, but also lifestyle. Now, today we have back with us for part 2 We have my good friend Kasondra McCormick, as we are going to be talking about the limbic system. But before we continue on with part two, just a reminder, if you were invited by somebody specific, make sure that you get back with them. They're going to be your point of contact. They're going to be the person that cared enough about you to share this program. You're going to care enough about them to reach out and say, hey, thank you for sharing that program. Can you help me get more information? That is your first person to ask. Family, or you found us on your own. You've never tried any of the longevity products or products that we mentioned on this program. We do have a call team that is available at 855-949-3377. Again, that's 855-949-3377. Well, let's go ahead and bring to the screen with me my dear friend. She's a pioneer when it comes to researching, because she's been doing it for decades. And this research was to help herself too, kind of like me, which she was there when I was at my worst, helping me. But as a functional medicine practitioner and all the many different certifications that she's had over the years, she is also an entrepreneur. She's a health advocate. She's got 3 decades of experience in the wellness and aging care fields, folks, which brings me to our next episode with her. We are going to be talking about Alzheimer's and dementia and things that we can do both nutritionally but lifestyle to help our loved ones as they are aging with the nutritional deficiencies that could lead up to what may be considered as even type 3 diabetes. Okay, so just something to look forward to. She is currently public relations and creative director at Neurostack.ai, and she's building a hub for caregiver empowerment, advocacy, and personalized education. Her career has been defined by guiding families and caregivers through the complexities of aging with innovation, interdisciplinary strategies, and deliver tailored solutions for diverse health challenges and overall well-being. Her visionary leadership bridges cutting-edge science with accessibility, human-centered care globally. So, Kasondra, thanks again for coming back. And I know we didn't get all the way through our notes for the limbic system last week. And there's some really key things that we didn't get to that are like calls to action and what we can do. We talked about the limbic system, what it does, how things can go wrong. But let's now talk about what we can do as empowered individuals to help ourselves.
I love that. Thank you again for having me. What a special opportunity. And this is such a vibrant and lengthy conversation that it can just continue for a very long time, because it's a very active conversation and part of our lifestyle, as you said. It's a lifestyle conversation. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I mean, I've been doing this program for 7 years, and just last week was the first time I've had you on in your busy schedule. So I'm glad that you've slowed down a little bit personally, but that's just me as a selfish friend. So let's talk about things that we can do that affect our limbic system in a positive way.
Yeah,
but maybe absolutely. We should talk about the negatives too.
We're going to talk about everything.
All right, let's do it. Do you want me just to let you flow?
Sure. Let's dig in. And I always like to start with the negative things, because I think that's why we come to this place. if everyone were okay, we wouldn't need all these tools and trips and ticks and friends and communities, and we just wouldn't need all of these things if we were okay. And I think we have to get to that place where we're not okay, and whatever is in our sphere isn't working for us. That really opens up the opportunity for us to get into a community and start seeking.
Well, and I think that in itself is the reason why people are on the internet digging,
Agreed.
looking for
Agreed.
answers, looking for solutions, because they've got problems that they're not getting solutions for, just patches.
Yeah, yes, and that's what it is. We are aware enough about our bodies, and there isn't just one solution that fits for everyone. We have lots of different schools of thinking because we have different bodies. I always say blood is blood, tissue is tissue, but everything underneath that is incredibly complex, and you can get a myriad of different experiences. It can get very complex for a person who doesn't understand, and they're going to come to a place, and then we get the opportunity to really make it super simple for them so that they can feel like they can achieve these things on their own and become independent in their health journey instead of dependent. And we can start building a community and sharing the wealth of knowledge and our experiences about what's worked for us that may be able to help another person.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Yep.
let's talk about some of those healing strategies.
Yep. So we talked about the healing strategies last time, like music therapy. We talked about nutrition. I want to go a little bit backwards if we can, because I want to go back to stress or like what brought us here. And right, because the way that you came here is, that's how we're going to define the toolbox that we start with. And I know that you and I have both had this conversation for decades, that what's worked for me didn't necessarily work for you.
Right.
And we both, as we were exploring our health journey for us personally, but also helping others, that journey led us to the complexities that here are the tools, but sometimes we have a situation like stress, and it could be acute stress or it could be chronic stress. And maybe right, we need to go back one step, and maybe we need to start with something like music therapy, because we need to start with trying to control our environment. And maybe we need to step back one more step, and we just need to say, I need a timeout, and we need to start with breath work. So that's a really wonderful place to start, is with self. So I'm a practicing, yes, I'm a practicing, so I love to just start with the practice.
So you're going to walk us through some breath work right now, aren't you?
I am, if I'm allowed to. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So everybody's just going to take a deep breath in and let it out. And it's okay to close your eyes. If you can't close your eyes because you're driving, don't do that.
Disclaimer.
Just yes. Keep your eyes open if you need to keep your eyes open. Close your eyes if you have the opportunity to close your eyes. And you can do this very quickly. It can be a second, it can be a minute, it can be 3 minutes, it can be 30 minutes. So just take a breath and let it out. And then put your right hand over your heart. And just feel. Don't think, just feel. And I'm going to close my eyes. You can feel your heartbeat, and you can feel your breathing. And you can feel your body just take a shift down. You can feel the rest of your body goes into your stomach, go down through your legs, down to your feet. And then just take a nice deep breath up and just let it out. And then when you're ready, just open your eyes. If you're in a very stressful moment and you just need a quick pause, you don't even have to close your eyes. Just put your hand over your heart, take a deep breath. And then walk back into whatever that is, and it's going to change you. And then once you start there, which is a very quick and simple thing that you can do anywhere, no one even knows that you're doing it. Then we start talking about the environment. What is in our surrounding that we have control over? We don't have control over the kids running around and screaming or slamming doors or honking cars or traffic outside. We don't have any control over that, but we have control of our environment. And then we go into our favorite thing next is music therapy. There are so many different ways that you can change your environment very quickly. And we have this wonderful thing called YouTube. We have just so many opportunities, radio, podcast, this show. You can flip on anything very quickly and you can just change your own environment and you can shift into a different frequency very quickly. And once you shift into that frequency, that negativity just seems to melt away. It just dissolves. And once you get into that place where you can control your environment a little bit, that pause button allows you to step back and say, I know I have all these things out here that I have responsibilities for, but I also have to focus on me. And I have to take care of my own health in order to be able to take care of others. Even if you have the little screaming baby, even if you're taking care of your mom or your dad or a loved one or a friend who desperately needs you because they are depending on you for their activities of daily living, which we will talk about next week. Even sitting by their bedside and holding their hand or rocking them in the chair, you can just take that pause. You can change the music, change the frequency. We wear pods in our ears all the time. So what a beautiful thing. Let them listen to whatever they want to. We get to change it right here and we get to change our frequency and just watch that melt away. So those tools are going to get us very quickly into the opportunity to be able to control our environment. Once we get there, as you know, Becca, right? Once you get there, now we can lead into this place where we're going to start talking about nutrition, all those things we put in our mouth.
So before we get to the nutrition part, you were talking and mentioned frequencies.
Yeah.
What are your favorite frequencies? Do you have any?
Yes. So I like the ohm, which is the earth resonance. But that's just me. And this is where it gets a little complicated, right? Because we each have a different frequency. And we're all familiar with our birthday. And we all kind of look at, oh, well, we kind of have these personality traits, or I have all of these things. So some person's ohm might be heavy metal. And that just really brings them right into their focus. And that's their style. That's not my style because I love silence. but that's not for everybody, right? You really need to try on your frequency. And the other thing that I would really like to talk about is creating a journal. If you don't journal, analytics are super important, and everyone knows the word analytics, but if you don't track it, it doesn't matter what the results are, because you have no idea where you started to be able to reflect where you are now. And you also can't compare or contrast what's working for you and what isn't. So find a way to track, write, and journal. Get a small little book, get a notepad, who cares? Just keep a journal and just start writing very simply. I loved how I felt when I put my hand over my heart. That really brought me back very quickly, and that works. And I'm going to make it a mission to try to do that every single day. Whenever I think about it, I'm just going to do that one thing. Then you might remember, oh, I really loved that kind of music. How about if I find some more of that and create a station or an algorithm that starts bringing me that, and I can start listening to this kind of frequency is working really well. And then try different frequencies, different types of music, put your hand over your heart again, and then just listen to how your body is. Is it contracting, or is it releasing and opening up? And that's a really easy measurement, or a person, or an environment. Just go through the drive-through and say, you can use it on anything. So the real frequency, the clinical term for that is kinesiology. So frequency is a real thing, and your body is a walking human detector. If you can tune into that just this easy, and then look for contraction or this moment of openness, and if you can just monitor that one simple thing, you will start to tune into your own frequency, and you will be able to change your environment very quickly. And it will help you stand in your own wisdom to really know that this belongs to you. That's the next question. Is this mine, or is this someone else's? And this gets into the belief system. And yes.
Finish your thought.
Yes, thank you.
Finish your thought, and then I have a question.
Perfect. So the belief system, that which is around us, in order to start, for all of these things are percolating underneath. In order for us to get to optimum health, we have to start tapping into our own truth and what works for us. So by starting this practice, we start, and that question is this mine, or is this someone else's? Did somebody else impose or recommend? Did someone else, and I believed that, why do I believe that? And is that true for me? Does that actually work for me?
Okay, now, how does all of this connect to the limbic system? As I know, the limbic system, we talked last week, it is connected to digestive, and the mental, the emotional. So how does this tie into that?
That's a really great question. So we talked about the vagus nerve, and it's the freeway between the gut and the brain. So if you can just, again, take that pause and listen to yourself right now, and how do you feel? If you're contracted and your tummy feels really tight, and maybe your lungs or your ribs feel a little bit tight, that's sending a signal that there's anxiety or nervousness or stress. And that's sending the signal to your body and to your brain that says, what are we going to do? Do we need to stop? We're paralyzed. We're just stuck, and we're shut down, and we're just frozen where we are. And there's no thought there that can move us forward. put your hand on your heart, right? Go back into that breath and then look for that release and that comfortability. And if you can't find that, take the next step and go to the music. Just put something in there to try to tune that frequency. And if that doesn't do it, maybe you're hungry, maybe you're thirsty, or maybe you really just need to take a time out, and you might need to go stand in the closet or just go outside and get some fresh air. Right? Just find that place. The next one, you might be in that stress level, right? Again, paying attention to that contraction and that release, that right down the middle of your body, right straight to your tummy, to your gut, to your ribs, all right there. And you might be wanting to just run away. And this is a place where a lot of people, because we don't, when you're contracted like that, you can't communicate well. Or blah, right? We just yell and run away. Fight or flight. That is fight or flight. And we spend a lot of time here because we need to use these tools and we don't understand the frequency of our body and we only know what's in our environment right now. So we get into this fight or flight. Our brain still can't work and then we're reacting. We're busy. Everyone's busy. We have a lot going on. We've got a lot of input coming in. Our world is very stressful out there. It just is. All you have to do is turn on the news, walk out the door, you hear the sirens, the horns honking. It's a stressful world out there, and it is really hard to maintain. So I love these simple tips. And then having these tips allows us to be able to have an internal dialogue, communication with ourselves first, so that we can have communication with others. So if we want to get out of that fight flight, once we have that shutdown and freeze, feel that tightness. If we want, now we're in fight and flight and we want to run away, we're going to talk ourselves down from that and say, okay, I need to pause and put my hand on my heart. Your self-dialogue is communication. Guess what you get to do next? Sorry, I need to take a time out. You have the right. You have the right to say, I need a time out. What if you're a single mom and the baby's crying and the kids are 3 different schools and you can't take a time out? All 3 of those little ones are going to be hopefully asleep or away or in the daycare or, at school. And you get 1 minute right here. Guess what? Guess what the kids need or everybody in that environment? Turn the music on. You will see how quickly it changes the landscape everywhere. It changes the landscape everywhere. Even if they don't want to change, guess what's going to happen? Their body is just going to absorb that and it's just going to change the frequency, but it has to start with you. You have to be in control of your environment. You have to choose today or tomorrow or next week. You get to choose when you get on the bus. They can choose whether they want to get on the bus or not. But everyone who's going to be in the sphere should respect each other. Mm-hmm. Respect each other because we're all human. We're all individuals. And we all need healing and we all need peace and we all need space and we all need something different. You can't package us up and everybody does the same thing. That's why your company, Longevity, has so many different products, right? We have products for everything. They're all over the place because everyone needs something different and that's okay. It's okay. So then once you get to tell yourself, I'm okay, now we're in the safe zone. Now we're safe, right? Our box, our sphere, our energy is safe. And then we're going to start looking for our social and community. We're going to meet our frequency. And as we continue down this journey, our frequency is going to continue changing. And it is okay to let people out the barn door who no longer match your frequency, because that's what's best for you. And then you're going to draw in, like cleaning out the closet, right? You let that energy out, just let it go on its way. It will attract like a magnet to something else. And then you're going to have room to draw in that which is now where you are. And you're going to continue down that journey.
Wow, we have a question and a comment.
Okay.
So Julio says, hi, interesting program and the connections to everything.
Yes.
Question. The vagus nerve belongs to the parasympathetic nervous system, right? Therefore, can we say that when it's activated, this is the zone for healing? Is it here where this divine intelligence starts working in? And he says, thanks. Thanks. So being in the non-algae state, which relates to yesterday's programming of mine, that activates this part of the vessel. So, okay. So is this where healing begins or can happen?
Absolutely. Yes, it really can. And the healing starts right here. It starts with putting your hand on your heart. We're a real thing here. We need love. We need attention. And we need attention from ourselves. We always, I would say the majority of the people who are here in this community are nurturers, and they are giving, and we are about others because we genuinely love and care for others, but we are also an other.
This is true.
Right? We have to love and care and give ourselves a hug. And we have to start with self-love. And yes, that's where the healing begins. The vagus nerve, the whole thing is divine. That everything, if my sky and my background, right, we have the most magnificent universe inside of us and outside of us. Everything is divine and unique. And we need to love this thing. And we need to go from the universe and out there right into right here. And again, parasympathetic, it's the communication freeway. And the whole thing is divine, but the divineness is that it is communicating all, I don't know, am I allowed to use the word chakras, right? Like from the lower part, to the upper part, right? Like everything, they're all layers of signals all the way. And so your tummy tightens up. And then your ribs, right, your diaphragm, that area tightens up. And then your chest tightens up. And then you can't talk. And then you can't think. Right? So we have to unwind, but the vagus nerve is the freeway between the brain and the tummy. And it's also the ability to be able to take those nutrients. The nutrients, yes, are nutrients like food, but there's also signaling in there. Like the alphabet and communicating a word. It's actually a signal telling the brain to think.
And that's why deficient and non-deficient, when it comes to our bodies and what they're receiving as information by way of nutrition,
yes,
reacts,
yes,
and functions up here
Mhm.
or functions down here.
Yep. I have a little tagline, without nutrients, we can't have cognitive thinking, correct cognitive thinking.
That's right.
If you're hungry, or even if you're thirsty, I was going to reach for my water, even just having water. I know I'm not going to advertise. Even just water. Your body's full of water. Your body's constantly moving. It's like a heater box. We're evaporating water all the time. We have to just water can help you think clearly. It helps move the digestion. It helps break things down, and it helps move things through the body. Our body is alive, and it is constantly building and breaking down. It's building and breaking down, and that stuff has to pass through our body so that we can have new growth.
Absolutely. And that brings me to another idea for another show at another time, since you do have so much experience with those that are aging. And I find that dehydration is an epidemic in our aging population.
It is. And you know, the other thing, you can drink too much water too. And this
Right.
is where the nutrition comes in, because you may think you're thirsty, but you might actually have to see a practitioner because you might be having a kidney issue. There are other things that can cause thirst in your body, but you also need those nutrients, the proper nutrients. Back to aging, again, tracking what you're eating and drinking is so important. We get so busy, and I do this. I forget to eat. I don't require a lot of nutrients, but I also drink most of my nutrients still to this day, since my children were toddlers. And so funny you mentioned the kids last time, because we said they were 8 and they're now like 20 years past 8.
Yeah.
We still talk about the nasty green protein drinks, you know, drinking our nutrients. I still drink most of my nutrients, but that's what works for me. You know, we need water, we need nutrients. Our body is, your blood chemistry is nutrients. Your cells, your skin, your eyes, your hair, it's all nutrients, like the periodic table. Where do we get those things?
Yeah.
If you can't eat some foods because you have, we're going to talk about lifestyle and elimination here. If you can't eat some foods, what's another way we can get those nutrients into us? We can use vitamins and supplements. That's the best next way to get those babies in there.
Absolutely. And before we move on to that, we do have a couple more comments. So
Okay.
Catherine says, hitting home, controlling your frequencies will change others' frequencies at the same time. Julio says, thank you. And it's just, folks, if you're here live with us and you have a comment or question and you want to put it into the chat, please do so. I completely forgot about my team chat, where, you know, there's more people saying, thank you for coming back and finishing the show.
Thank you for
And
having
there
me.
was somebody
So much fun. It's my
somebody
favorite
else
topic.
messaged me and said, where's part 1? Well, folks, you can find part 1 by doing a search for Daily with Doc and Becca, and then Limbic or Kasondra, Kasondra. So, folks, there's lots of ways that you can find information. You can find us on the Critical Health News or the Daily with Doc channels on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Patreon, Brighteon, Radio FM, iHeart, Apple TV, Roku, Amazon TV, I think, or there's one more thing I have to do with that. But folks, use your favorite search option, whether you're on a PC or a Mac, you will find us. And please make sure that you subscribe, like, and share each and every time, because folks, it's part of sharing that is going to help us in creating more of a tidal wave of better health. So Kasondra, let's go ahead and move on into the whole nutrition part of it.
Okay, so eliminations. Lots of people have sensitivities, and those sensitivities can come in a myriad of ways. You can have hives, you can have indigestion, you can have constipation, you can have dehydration, you can have cognitive challenges, you can get bumps on your tongue or on your lips, or you can get itching. There are so many different, there's so many different ways that you can have a sensitivity to a food. Typically, unless you have a really serious condition, of course, typically it's because we're bombarding our bodies with too many things. When we're at this place of chronic or versus acute, it's typically chronic is when we start seeing all of these different types of challenges. Gluten, just canned foods, processed foods, things that are not healthy. And we may be coming from a lifestyle where that's all we knew. And maybe we don't know how to cook broccoli. Maybe we don't know how to do those things. So that might be a place to start, is just knowing simple fruits and vegetables that are steamed is going to be a great place to start. They have amazing products at every single grocery store now. We are so lucky now. I remember back in the day, well, my mother had an allergy to MSG. And this is in the early 80s. And we used to go to when we would eat out, and she would have to ask them, do you have MSG in their menu? And they wouldn't even know what they were talking about. And it was so severe for her that she would literally have to lock herself in the closet and be in a dark room. And she would just cry her eyes out. Or sometimes we'd have to go to the hospital. It was that terrible. So I grew up seeing my mom struggle with that. And so I understood asking about ingredients. So we always had to be very careful about those things. Now, I didn't have those sensitivities until much later. And it was more from stress and lifestyle, probably more from stress.
We've never had any stress, folks.
No such thing. I'm going to put my 2 hands on my heart right now.
Yeah. One's not enough.
Right. Yeah, and how did we get to this place? A journey of personal unwinding. I have a textbook that is 1,000 pages. It has no binding, and I've written on every page, and I have highlighter everywhere. I've had decades and decades of this journey trying to unwind my health, and I still have to be careful what I eat. I still have to. I really, I'm the test lab rat. So I will go all the way to one side, and then I will see if I can break it. And I will eat anything and everything. I'm not allowed to eat pizza. It just does not agree with me. I will go as far as eating pizza to see if I fixed it. If I've broken the barrier and I'm going to be able to eat whatever I want, whenever. Ice cream and pizza. Those are my two nemesis still to this day. That's just, I have to permanently eliminate those things, or I have got to be willing to deal with the misery that comes with it. It's a choice, and everyone else sitting at the tables eating the pizza, and they're eating the ice cream, and I'm just drinking my water. Those are the choices that we have to make. So the journal is super, super important. The journal's important. And knowing what you can and can't do. And sometimes we have to eliminate things forever because they just don't agree with us, and we have to come to peace with that. We have to just come to peace with it. And the other thing is, people might make fun of us. People used to make fun of me all the time and pick on me because, oh, you're that person, you da-da-da-da-da. We can only eat where you can eat because you're so sensitive. Well, guess what? Yes, I am. And I respect myself enough. That's what I have to do. And I'm going to honor that, and I'm going to stand in it, and I'm going to take care of me because I'm important, and that's enough. Back to frequency, out the barn door.
Yeah.
It is about your lifestyle, and it is okay to be you. It is absolutely okay to be you. And if they're criticizing you, you know, they don't belong in the pasture playing with you at some point. You know, and it's okay to do you, and it's okay to do me. When we can come to peace and still be in the same room and have the relationship, and they can do them and you can do you, that's truly a beautiful place, because you can't always send them out packing off on their way. You know, these are our loved ones. These are our relationships. These are our relationships that are inner relationships. So we have to stand in our sovereignty and just say, I'm going to do what's right for me, and have peace and have love towards the other person. They're just not on your school bus. They're just not on your journey. But we can still live together, and we can still live in the same room, in the same household. We can work in the same environment, and we can love each other and have peace, that we're all different and we all have different needs.
Absolutely. And I love that you went back into the journal, and that goes back to the track, right? Journal, create your own analytics and your own cause and effect.
Yeah.
It's like, for me, I can't do black pepper.
Yeah. Oh yeah, me too.
And it really touches my heart, because now we go into a restaurant, and he's asking, do you use black pepper in your seasonings? Before we even sit down.
That's awesome.
And it's like,
that's a place of respect.
Really cool.
Yeah, that's a place of respect and love. Yep. Your frequencies are matching, and you're in a right environment, and you're in right relationship with yourself.
Yeah. Wow. All right, we only have 12 more minutes. So what do you want to use to wrap up?
Well, I always like going back to the heart, right? Going right back here. Just this, and I will tell you that, you know, when we're talking about all the vagus nerve stuff, everybody says I do this really well. This is the most stressful, anxiety-packed thing that I can do, is to be on here with everybody right now. So I love you dearly, and I would do anything for you. And I love being in my non-comfort zone at all times. But my vagus nerve is like this right now.
Okay.
Which is why I want to go back to my heart, right? I want to go right back.
I want you to put your hand over your heart, Breathe in. And let it go. You breathe in a certain count and let go a certain count.
I'm looking for release and contraction. When the contraction is tight, 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 tight. And then when you let go,
Just let
does
it all go.
that tension, that vagus nerve, that your tummy, your lungs, does everything just open up? Do you get this sense of openness? And if you can do it in one breath, okay. If maybe you need a second one, you know, you might need, again, consider, do I need water? Do I need nutrition? Do I need to turn on the music? What do I need right now to bring me back to this safe place where I can be social? So those right, break it down. Am I in shutdown and freeze and I need a timeout? Am I trying to run away? Am I safe and social? And how do I change that for me in my environment? Because it can be anything. You could be at a birthday party and there's just too much going on. You could be you could be at the beach and the waves crashing could just be too much for you. It could be a beautiful thing. It doesn't have to be terrible. It can be something beautiful. And all of a sudden, it's just too much for you. And you need to come back into your center and then ask the questions. Do I need water? Do I need to eat? Do I need a timeout? Do I need some music and I need to go for a quick walk? And do I need to just put my hand on my heart and just breathe? So very quick tips that you, right, gave right back to me very quickly. Those are the real things that matter. Those are the quick things that we can do that are going to help us stay on our journey, because it is a lifetime journey and things are going to come up. And you're going to need these techniques to bring you back to center. You're going to write and journal. Ooh, here's a trigger for me. You're going to keep a journal. Here's a trigger. Here's what balanced that trigger, so that you don't have to keep fighting and running away. Now I can just, we don't have to fight and run away anymore. We get to just find that tool that's going to work for that moment, which is quick. Hand on heart, change the music, breathe, water, get some nutrients, and go on to the next thing. And just do it in self-love, and then love for others.
Love that. Self-love and then love for others. Very important, folks. You are totally worth the self-love and taking time for yourself, putting yourself first. And I know as mamas, and nanas, grandmas, that's not always easy to think, oh, I just need to take some time for myself, because we're always serving others.
But we have to teach those others. We are a living example, because our struggle becomes their struggle. This is when we get to the genetics and the epigenetics and the lessons. These tools, we are a living example, and they are witnessing on a daily basis. And this is an opportunity to let our life and our choices and share that journey with them. We're not perfect, and it is hard, and we mess up.
Yes, we do. And that's okay.
It's absolutely okay, because the sun is coming up tomorrow, as one of my mentors says. The sun comes up tomorrow and we get to try again.
That's right. Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kasondra McCormick. I just love and appreciate you dearly. And I can't wait to talk more about how we can be supportive of those that are aging, that are having those signs of Alzheimer's, dementia, those cognitive things. And a lot of what you shared with us today can help with that as well as we stop. And I know when I'm working with people and they're so wound tight, it's like, let's stop and just take a breath.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Take your
It's
time.
going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
okay.
Even if it's not okay, it's still okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. If I could have the co-hosts come up with me, that would be absolutely fantastic, because I couldn't do this without them, especially with some of the changes that we were going through before the show with new programming as upgrades and all these great things that are happening. Catherine is saying, so fulfilling to see and hear your energy. Thank you, Kasondra. Namaste.
Thank you
I
so
may have
much
said
for
that
having me.
wrong.
Nope,
Huh?
you're good. Thank you for having me again. Such a treat.
Absolutely. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So today our co-host team, we have Sherry. She's part of our tech crew, getting things set up and streamed out to the different platforms. Thank you, Sherry. We have Marilyn just doing a fantastic job with dictation and putting the notes. I mean, folks, if you need a personal note taker, you come to Daily with Doc, you got one.
That's funny.
Right there in this chat live with us. Thank you so much, Marilyn, for doing that. We have Albert as he's letting people into the room so that they can be here live with us in the Daily with Doc and Becca Zoom. Thank you, Albert. We have Ruth Ellen Sanchez, my executive production manager, who keeps us all on task. She's like, just a minute, I need a moment. And she just helps us stay in track and get to the right goal. And we have AJ, who's been very instrumental in helping to get us on all the different platforms. Thank you so much, AJ, as our digital marketing director. And we have Rod, who's out watching the different platforms and helping to bring questions in and watching the room. And folks, the person that invited you to this program is another amazing individual who cares about you. Get back with them. Tell them thank you. Thank you for taking the time to share this program with me or any of the Daily with Doc programs, and let them know what you liked best about it. They're going to be, again, your first point of contact. If you found our program and you have questions or you want to talk to a certified holistic health coach, you are more than welcome to do so by giving us a call. This is for people that's not working with anybody. I want to make sure that stays clear. By calling 855-949-3377. Again, that's 855-949-3377. And we have a special little raffle going on right now. Pharmacist Ben and I are scheduled to go to an event in April, and he's not able to go. So he is raffling off his ticket to the Michael Burnoff for, I can't remember the name of it. I need some more EFAs. But you can go to win.dailywithdoc.com. And if you are in the Scottsdale area or going to be in the Scottsdale area and would like to have the opportunity to win this ticket in this raffle, register. Again, that's April 24th, 25th, and 26th in Scottsdale, Arizona. Win, W-I-N, dailywithdoc.com. And AJ, I see your hand up.
I'm sure you would have gotten to it. I just wanted to mention that we have a guest tomorrow and that Kaylee's in the background helping out.
Kaylee. Yes, I see Kaylee's name up there. I'm sorry, Kaylee. Kaylee is our social media specialist, and we just really appreciate Kaylee as well. And we do say
Okay, it looks like
We
Rebecca.
lost Becca there for a second.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
All right.
She's taking a pause, she's taking a breath, and she's closing her eyes.
I was thinking the same.
And this is how we should end.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. I don't know exactly where she was going with her conversation.
She's falling asleep.
We do have Pharmacist Ben tomorrow. I think that was
Yes.
part
Recording stopped.
All right. Well, we do have Pharmacist Ben tomorrow. And so we look forward to seeing you. And of course, this presentation was for educational purposes only and is not meant to treat, diagnose, or cure. If you would like to talk to a certified holistic health coach, you can call 855-949-3377 to and somebody is always on, because we have Albert who's on in the middle of the night when the rest of us are sleeping. So we are 24/7 now. And it looks like Becca is back. So
Recording in progress.
and take over. Or if you want me to just finish, you're muted.
yeah, I don't know what happened, but
Technology, folks. Go ahead.
did you
I went through the coaching certified holistic health coach phone number, and and you can do if you want to become a certified holistic health coach. Rebecca, what is the link?
go to
Okay, it's coach.dailywithdoc.com. And we're just going to go ahead and wrap it up, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow with Pharmacist Ben. And remember to get back with the person who recommended this program to you, because they are your
Recording stopped.
contact. Have a fantastic day. everyone.
Recording in progress.
So much for joining us.
Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach.